Hello YouTube, this is Shirley426, and today we have a review of the Premium Bandai exclusive, or P-Bandai exclusive, HGUC Black Rider. Now this is an interesting unit because this unit wasn't really mentioned or seen or didn't even exist until to the point where Gundam Battle Operation 2, the Code Fairy storyline popped out. So they basically had a promo regarding the new story mode of the game. Now the story mode for the Code Fairy for Gundam Battle Operation 2, you need to actually purchase it. So the Gundam Battle Operation 2, we know, where it's a multiplayer online Gundam Battle game, that is for free as long as you make the account. But to play the story mode, you actually need to purchase the separate game. So that I would like to mention that. And number two is that these guys were shown in that trailer, and then the next week Bandai immediately announced a Premium Bandai kit of the Black Rider, White Rider, and then the Efreet Sniper that I reviewed some time ago, and the Efreet Jaeger. So yeah, I did pre-order the Efreet Jaeger and then the Black Rider together. I kind of just decided to skip on the White Rider, and here is basically why. So this is not my first time reviewing a Pale Rider variant kit. Now I would like to mention the Pale Rider originally was never a Premium Bandai kit. It was like a bonus gift kit kind of thing if you bought a certain game at the time. I believe this was the PlayStation 2 era, if I remember correctly. So that was it, but it was a very mystical kit because it was a kit that not many people actually owned, but later Bandai decided to reuse that mold and re-release it as a Premium Bandai kit. And that Premium Bandai kit, or its original mold, came out very long time ago. So at the time, it had pretty good articulation. It was ahead of its time, but at the same time, because of the Hades system aspect, where when he activates the Hades system, his vents start glowing yellow/gold, and then his eyes turn red, etc. Because of this aspect, it was very sticker heavy. Unlike the Blue Destiny, for example, all they do is their eyes or visor turns into red, and that's pretty much it. Or there are technically a few vents that pop out or open up, but not exactly glow in a different color. So because of that aspect, it was always sticker heavy, and after the other variants that came out, the space variant, also sticker heavy, the Toad's Ritter, not even, don't get me even started, and then there was the Pale Rider Cavalry, the Cavalry D2, all of them were pretty sticker heavy. So obviously I was expecting this guy and the White Rider to be also sticker heavy as well, and they technically are. Now the White Rider I haven't actually tried, and I don't have, but I've seen pictures of it to kind of see or predict how much stickers it has. Now Black Rider, not as bad as I imagined. There were a few parts that had unexpected. There were a few stickers that were on unexpected areas, but concerning that, not as bad as I imagined. So let's see what we got. So once again, this guy is a game exclusive mobile suit. As far as I know, we don't have any info regarding that as well in the Universal Century in general. So yeah. Alright, so before we go into the basic components, let's look at the leftover parts. So number one, we have some leftover polycaps. Nothing special about that. We've seen these every day. And now here we have some leftover parts from the original Pale Rider. So here we have the chest parts. Here we have something for the head, and for the head parts, the feet, the backpack, and then the arms. And then once again, we have more leftover parts. So I believe this depends on which variant the Pale Rider goes with. But here we have the original side thrusters on the legs. Here we have some extra thruster that goes on the legs and backpack, as far as I know, and a few more vents as well in other parts. And here we have another part as well. So here we have the original back skirt, front skirt as well. We have the original beam sabers. We have some chest piece, and then here we have some thruster piece. I believe these goes onto the leg of the original Pale Rider, and then here we have the original head part. So yeah, despite having the head part, there's no visor piece left over, so keep that in mind. Alright, so we've seen the basics of that. Now let's look at the basic components. So first of all, what you get, of course, is obviously the Black Rider himself. Pretty much a lot of weapons are built in there, and then we have some interesting equipment as well, like the heat daggers, and then we have the anchor shot, and then we have these radar looking things, which actually serves a different purpose than you think as well. And then usually a Pale Rider would have these beam guns on his arm, but on his right arm he actually has these grenade launchers, while the other one has the anchor arm. So yeah, and then here are the other stuff. So before we go into the stickers, yeah, here we have the wire for the anchor arm. So yeah, we do get a small piece of wire. And then here we have its main weapon, the rail cannon. So I just consider this to be a rail gun. So this is, I believe, in terms of this might be our first time seeing this, or I could be wrong. I do remember seeing a similar looking bazooka in the very old HGUC or the HG Gundam Ground set. So I don't actually own that, but I've seen images of it. And then here we have the hand. You only get 2 multi-purpose hands, and they just serve as, you know, the weapon holding hands, and then the rail cannon handle can move up and down like that, so you do get some extra range. And then here we have these 2 parts. These are technically extenders for those radar things on the backpack, so I'll get into that later. Alright, so before we go on to the articulation, let's talk about stickers. Now, the main reason why I said it's not as bad as you think is because of the areas that it covers up. Alright, so here we have a small sticker sheet. These are more decals. These are specific symbols for the specific story regarding this unit as far as I know. So yeah, and the manual does point out where to put these on, but it's really up to your preferences. Alright, now here we have the sticker sheet. Yes, it is a lot, but once again, as I mentioned before, it's a lot because of the I believe this one uses a system called Themis, I believe. It's a prototype version or a simplified version of the Hades system, but once again, once it lights up, all the blue, like certain areas will turn into red, from blue to red, and then the vents will start glowing gold. So, which is why it may look like this has a lot of stickers. So let me just put this guy aside because. So first of all, obviously the radars on the back, these 8 stickers, and then these round ones, and then these strips are used by that. So yeah, those are, I would say, essential, and they're not too much of a big deal. So let's get that out of the way, and you have to basically choose whether to go with the Samus mode or the original mode. So once again, once you actually decide to choose one, these red ones are not going to be used, these ones are not going to be used, the gold ones are not going to be used at all. So you exclude those as well. So, and then let's say if you were to color the heat daggers, then you won't be using these giant stickers. So technically, the only ones you get left are like these 2 that goes onto the main body, and a few red areas that goes onto certain parts. So not as many as you think when you get to understand what sticker goes where. So yeah. Now I tried to color most parts, but once again, it was very difficult for me because the Gundam marker does have some limitations, and then being a black kit, coloring on top of a black kit is not really an easy task. So I decided to just go easy on myself and just not color certain areas. And on the process, there was a huge mess that happened. So yeah. So there's going to be some smudges on the kit. So I do apologize for that aspect. All right. So now let's see what we got. So the head, I definitely love the head design. It's very different from the previous Pell Riders, and there is no eye or visor behind this part, so yeah, you don't get any clear parts or eyes. So that's a pretty good, it's an interesting design. We have a whole sensor as the front part of the head. Now these red sections on the antenna, those are supposed to be stickers. I decided to color those as well using a metallic red Gundam marker. And then on the side of the, if you look at the side of the head, you have those extra blue stickers, small blue stickers as strips. So those are slightly tricky to apply, but once again, it's not as bad as you think. And then on the backpack we have here is a red section here, which also has to be a sticker, but once again, I decided to use a metallic Gundam red marker, and I have no idea why my camera is having so much trouble trying to focus on these areas. And once again, we have more blue sensors on the back of the antenna here, and I believe here on the back head camera section, where usually a camera would be here, you have to also apply a red sticker that kind of covers up this entire area, so I decided not to use that as well. So, but other than that, the head articulation is pretty much what you think. It can go down that much, up as well, and then 360 twist should be no problem as well. Although do be careful with the antennas, because I believe they are one of the parts that are slightly fragile. Now, one of the parts that I kind of messed up coloring were the main body parts. So this red section here, these are supposed to be entirely red stickers, and the blue section will be on that red sticker, so you have to cover up this area a lot. So I tried to color it on the process. My red Gundam marker or metallic red marker kind of leaked a lot, so I'm still in the process of cleaning it up, but I'm almost done cleaning up. All I need to do is like scrape off these excessive areas as well, and then on these lines as well, all I need to do is scrape them off. So I'm almost done cleaning up. And then once again, I tried to color the insides with a metallic blue, but once again, being a black kit, it wasn't really easy to actually color those. But once again, because of the new chest design here, usually there would be like vents that you have to color them in gold or would use a sticker. But once again, being a very simplified design here, there's no such thing. So the main body, it's pretty okay. It's pretty much what you think. You have a slight ab crunch going on here, but not as much. And then going 360, I would say is going to be limited because of the equipment. Of course, if you take off the daggers, for example, let me take the daggers off. Then you might be able to go 360, but once again, you're going to have to work your way around slightly because there are some parts that are still colliding here. Alright, so, and then let's get the main arms here. So the main arms are your typical ball joint shoulders, so you can go forward and backward as well. And then you can see the polycab, it does allow you to pop out a little bit to the back side. Now, originally for the shoulders here, now they may look okay, but these end tips here are supposed to be red, so they do give you a sticker for that. Now, I've colored these parts many times, they never end up being clean, so I decided not to color them as well, so just to let you guys know. And then, so going 360 is also possible, and then bend on the arm is pretty good. You have a double jointed bend, so you do go more than 90 degrees here. And here on each arm here, we get this massive anchor wire equipment, so you can take off this part, and then you can see there's a hole there, so this is where you connect the wires to give it of a more dynamic action. And then on the other arm here, once again, the hand is on the cannon here, so on this side you have the grenade launcher as well, so pretty good design and pretty good armaments as well. Now looking at the backpack here, or back section here, so the radars are actually connected to the main body here. So on the main body or slash backpack, you have these parts that pops out. So these were, I believe, were seen in the original Pale Rider kit as well. So instead of attaching more equipment, you can you attach these radar slash sensors. Now, as far as I know, these equipment allow them to go stealth mode. So when I mean stealth mode, if you have this unit in the game, what he does is that he activates this and he becomes invisible. Now, stealth can have many meanings in Gundam Battle Operation 2 or in the Gundam universe, where, for example, the F-Rig Knot, it basically jams your opponent's radar so he can't see you, so that's considered stealth. And then there's the, there's the Gundam Pixie that just doesn't show up on the radar. And then there's like other units like the Jim Camouflage, or the, the Slave Race, where he will appear on radar as an ally unit. So those are considered all stealth units. This guy just becomes invisible, so once again, takes the, stealth aspect literally. Now, if you remember, I also showed you guys, oops, sorry about that. I also remember mentioning these extenders. So this is the radar, but if you want to extend it, what you can do is that you can take this part out, and then you can extend it with this part, and then you can attach this part and then extend it out even more. So I'll be showing you guys that demonstration later. And when you're not using these things in use, you can basically store it on the backpack like this. And once again, looking at the radars here, actually let's look at the radar right over here. So these blue strips on the inside, those are all stickers. Those are 4 stickers. So once again, considering the other side, that's 8. And then we have this round sticker, and then we have this middle sticker here. So those are stickers as well. And then on the bottom section, we have 4 of these red stickers. So yeah. The Raider takes a good amount of stickers, but once again, these are all very easy to apply, so I don't think there should be any problems. Of course, if you're trying to color them, that might be a whole different story. Alright, so we've seen that. Now let's get the main waist section right over here. So the front skirt is your typical type of front skirt. Once again, they do require you to apply some red stickers on these sections right over here, but once again, not a big fan of the way how you have to wrap around the stickers. So I decided not to use them, and I believe these parts will have to turn into gold if you go with the Ceramis or the Themis system as well. And then once again, I didn't cut these apart, but you are able to cut them or separate them if you want to do so. And then we have the side skirts, once again, that can go upwards a little bit, and we have these parts that can store the heat daggers, as you guys seen at the first part of the video. And then once again, we have the back skirt that does not move as well. And then there are some stickers that do need to be applied here, but once again, they are gray stickers, and applying gray stickers on black parts not really ideal, so I decided not to apply them as well. Alright, and then we have a nice side swivel going on here as well, and then going to the side 90 degrees is surprisingly actually possible, so that's good. And then going forward, also possible as well, and backwards, not so much because of the back skirt, so yeah, you're kind of limited there. Once again, we have a nice bend going on the leg here, but of course, I think it could technically bend more, but it's just the design that's making it collide. And once again, we still have some of these original ports from the original Pale Rider, so I believe if you do have the equipment, you are able to slap some equipment on there as well. And then we have the feet here. Now the middle ankle is a separate piece here from the feet, so we have this middle part here, which allows you to give a little bit more range in terms of the feet, so you can go forward and backward like that. Going side to side is also possible, and the feet itself can move up and down as well, and you can get a very nice pivot joint because of the double joint here. Alright, so we've seen the basics of the unit, so I'll be right back with the demonstration of the equipment, because there's a good amount of equipment that I would like to show you guys off, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So here we have the rail cannon on the right arm, and then I also tried to attach the wires onto the anchor as well. So attaching the wire wasn't easy as I expected, but still it works. But once again, as much as I do feel like the wire actions are supposed to be cool, when it comes to kits in the long run, these wires just don't become really that clean. They always become bent. They don't really go straight. So yeah, it's going to look, a little bit messy in the long run. So just wanted to point that out. Now the rail cannon, once again, thanks to the actually moving handle up and down, you do have more range to properly hold it like a bazooka as well, so no big deal. And I forgot to mention how, because thanks to the articulation on the radars, they don't really get in the way as much as you think. So number one, the radars are entirely attached to this part, so you can go up and down as well, so no big deal. And then there's the second joint, which allows you to rotate the middle joint right over here, so you can rotate them 360 if you want to do so, but once again, you're going to have to work your way around. So 360 is possible, and then you can move side to side like that. So there's the third joint over there, and then on the top joint, we have another joint that allows you to go forward and backward or side to side or rotate it, but you do need to rotate the entire joint here, there. So there is another joint that allows you to rotate and then move on the top. So because thanks to that, even though the bazooka will get in onto the shoulder, you can actually avoid or make the radar, you can reposition the radar so it doesn't collide with each other as well. And once again, this is a rail cannon, and then we do have a nice sensor going on here as well. For those who played Gundam Battle Operation 2, for those, you will know how annoying this cannon can be if you meet a guy who can actually properly, use this weapon as well. I mean, it is a powerful weapon, but it's not an easy weapon to use, and even in the game as well. So just wanted to point that out. Alright, so we've seen the basic cannon, and then on the arm anchor, I think there's only one thing left to show, and that's the daggers and then the extended radar. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So here we have the final demonstration regarding the Black Rider here going on. So once again, number one, what I did is that I attached the extensions on the radars here, so which is why they are more high up on the sky going on here. So they are more up top, and then I am now holding the daggers. Now every time I do get these questions time to time whenever there is a new sword type weapon or a dagger or a close combat type weapon. These type of weapons, some people do ask whether I can hold them upside down or not. So for these daggers, yes, you can actually hold them upside down or on the proper or a typical knife holding way, like how a stabber would do so. But still, it is possible to do so. Now once again, I am slightly wish they would give you a more different colored blade here as well. But once again, these are supposed to be heat daggers, so I do kind of understand that. But once again, even in the game when they're not heated up, these are supposed to be orange rather than red. So yeah, a little bit being picky. But once again, if you have the paint, if you have the equipment, you should be able to color them the way how you want to do so. And that is pretty much it for the review. So once again, if you're a big fan of the Pale Rider or are collecting the Pale Rider variants, I would say this would be one of the must-haves to get, because this is one of the most unique Pale Riders out there. I mean, depending on how you look at it, but this one definitely has the most different looks when it comes to a Pale Rider. So at least for me. And just to mention, yes, I have pre-ordered the Red Rider as well, so and I will be reviewing that as well. Anyway, thank you for watching the review. This was a review of the P-Bandai exclusive or P-Bandai exclusive HGUC Black Rider from the Gundam Battle Operation 2 Cold Fairy storyline. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave them comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews on, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.